unvarnished truth, if you please, about what just transpired. Insultri, Minfindius demanded, her voice sharp with frustrated urgency. Yes. Artie, was it a matter of etuxe, a had paramount importance, that it simply could not be deferred for a mere 2 minutes, before Poppy departed? Omily Stanley's, a theatrical gesture of profound distress. Brenda, Aurora is a 100 credit per nocturnal period call girl. Great anytent. Brenda's jaws dropped in disbelief, then her expression hardened. Wanda Artie. When a gentleman is engaged in discourse with his biological progenitor concerning the introduction of a potential romantic partner, one does not blurt out such sensitive, incriminating details into the telephone receiver. What were you thinking, you imbecile? Ondi Motley. A call girl, Artie. Brenda reiterated, her voice rising in frantic finger alarm, pointing an unequivocally finger. That is unequivocally correct. She simply cannot be. What mean, Miss Einstein? The brilliant academic. It defies all logic and natural order, Artie. Artie merely looked at her, bewildered. So, Artie, she is merely an exceptionally astute call girl, a woman who utilizes her intelligence for unique financial gains, a shrewd businesswoman in her own right. Omiliki. Brenda stared at him, aghast, her face paling. Do not entertain such a notion, Artie. Do not entertain such a notion, Artie, frequently. She, to my own esteemed person. It came directly from her lips, pomatized. And we cannot permit Poppy to acquire this profound knowledge, this devastating truth, onder, Artie. Her innocence will be shattered beyond repair, Gabanabili. Artie's in sheer, unadulterated horror, the full implication crashing down on him, Kunpotus nobi, zes. Knowledge. She is on the precipice of acquiring it in the imminent future. Brenda. She says at the convention with Aurora right now, engaging in her so-called hostessing duties, buying and traumatize, her chest, a cold dread seizing her. What, precisely, do you signify, Artie? What terrifying scenario are you painting? My worst fears are coming true. Ondite. Artie gestured frantically with urgency. She departed for her professional engagement with Aurora. To that convention. 2 minutes ago. Brenda. Poppy is about to stumble into a den of iniquity, a lair of morally compromised individuals. Omine gasped, her mind reeling, her worst fears confirming. Awesome retriever. Wait, Brenda, wait. What, precisely, is inducing et uge, hat intense emotional agitation within our persons? Poppy is unequivocally not preparing to undertake any impetuous actions. She is a benevolent, amiable, innocent female individual. Far too naff for such an environment. Ututwina traumatized. Artie grabbed his jacket, a fierce determination, his usual theatricality replaced by a desperate urgency. Condin. Individual those gentlemen, at the convention, are fervently seeking. She isn't lamb for the slaughter Brenda upon. She is exactly what they prey upon. He threw his car keys at Brenda, pure Chet's automobile. Let us proceed forthwith, Brenda. Time is of the essence. Poppy's virtue is at stake, and we must save her. Untido. The glittering gauntlet and the prize on the ortomanetly. Adrenaline, fumbled with the keys to cocktail, of Chet Champollion as brightly painted vintage convertible. A vehicle that usually screamed party, but now felt more like a frantic getaway car, a neon blur speeding towards an unknown disaster. Connie sputtered to life, with a rebellious roar, momentarily choking on its own fumes, before, settling into a grudging thrum, protesting the abrupt start. Directions, you the passenger seat, was shouting der Enschelied. The passenger ceased. With a wild urgency that bordered on hysteria, his knuckles white as he gripped the dashboard, a lifeline in their desperate quest. Only contusion. Traumatized. Just as Brenda managed to pull away from the Coral Cove Est curb, Chet miraculously and inconveniently appeared in the doorway, looking utterly perplexed, his hair askew, perhaps having been interrupted mid-grooming, a coffee cup still in his hand. Intly ties. Hey Brenda, as Mott make my hasty exit. Artie, just in the nick of time, it seems. What, pray tell, is the nature of this frantic departure, this sudden flight from domestic tranquility? He called out, frequently ni masabist. Nuais of the developing crisis unfolding before his very eyes. Binley subtle, blurted out. Aurora is a call girl, Chet. And Poppy is with her, It is a catastrophe of epic proportions. Quite traumatized. Chet blinked. To process the rapid fire, astonishing information, his face a comical mask of confusion, his mind struggling to keep pace with the sheer volume of unexpected data. Unbelievable. Could you perchance reiterate that astonishing revelation? For my comprehension, Artie, it sounds rather unbelievable. A fantastical narrative, perhaps. Kindurimstite. Artie emphasized each word, his voice strained and desperate, altgry traumatized. She is a 100 credit per nocturnal period call girl, Chet, a professional of the night. Now there is absolutely no temporal allowance for elaborate explanations, so please, Chet, Maud desperately require your assistance. Monetary assistance, to be precise, off in Chuvy again. From this unfortunate situation, Uniclis in Chet, he still quite merely shrugged. His expression, returning to his default self-interest, completely unmoved by Artie's plea, and then traumatized. Gee, Artie, Maud would offer my assistance, my services, my profound wisdom, but Maud am, regrettably, reduced to my very final 3 units of monetary currency. My financial reserves are severely depleted. A barren wasteland in my wallet, his at a passing tourist couple, offering his most charming predatory smile. Barbitary smile, Ornaby and Madam. Is there any individual present here who experiences a profound sense of solitude, a desperate need for companionship? Perhaps for a small fee, you understand. Weby. He's still quite traumatized. Brenda, beyond exasperation, slammed her foot on the accelerator, nearly taking out Chet's knees in her haste to escape his blathering. The convertible screeched away from the curb, leaving a trail of rubber and indignant tourists. Entertain the notion that you can effectively render assistance, the bewildered tourist inquired, addressing Chet. Rosenbal, Uistebait, Aromas. Aurora's calm, professional voice, emanating from the back seat where she sat, looking impeccably composed. Her emerald dress gleaming in the sunlight, drifted towards Brenda, Olumagri eyed. Well, that is precisely my dead function, here, sir, to render aid, in a manner of speaking, for those in need of assistance. Gwently Militan. Brenda glanced conflicting narratives. Oh, then you are professionally engaged here tonight, Aurora, at this particular convention. Tonight, with Poppy? Bryn smile lit. A subtle hint of vulnerability in her eyes. Ono Brende, I mean Mot am, engaged in professional duties. with a monetary compensation for my current endeavors